Hi, Jeff. I'm Suzanne. I'm
Suzanne.
one of the chapter leaders for Start School Later Ann Arbor. So we had some questions for you. The American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Medical Association, the Center for Disease Control, and the National Sleep Association all identify early school start times as crucial contributors to adolescent sleep deprivation. Most organizations recommend that all middle and high schools start after 8:30. So the question is, do you believe that school districts should be responsive to these National Health Organization recommendations?
Yeah, sure. The science is clear. The reports from parents and students are clear. Watching my middle school students the first hour of the day makes it clear they're not awake, they're not engaging, they're not participating. Um, by all means, we should do all we can to start secondary school, later. 8:30 seems a reasonable time.
Okay, great. And in what ways do you think later school start times would benefit adolescents?
Well, as I just referred to, it'll get them more engaged in their morning classes. They're not going to go to bed earlier. Whether it's biological or by habit, they're going to stay up late. They're not going to get enough sleep, and it's going to affect them really not only in their morning class but all through the day. They're going to continue running on sleep deficits, and that's not healthy mentally or physically.
All right. And currently under COVID, I understand that we have some later school start times in most of the schools. Are there any barriers that you see to implementing later school start times once we return to in-person classes?
I apologize. I was going to check this because I saw that elementaries were starting at 8:10, much earlier than they have in past years. And I assumed, again, and I was going to check and I haven't, that secondary schools were also starting early. And I don't understand this at all. It was really only as you issued the invitation that I even thought to look carefully at that part. I know there's too much screen time. There's problems with schedules with lunch not being at similar times, so families are having trouble. But I meant to check at this, and I don't know. All I know is that from what the teachers union says and what my experience on the board is, the administration comes up with recommendations and they pass it by us, but they haven't asked for our input or teachers' input going in. So I'm not sure why um, the start times are as they are. I don't see any reason, but I don't have the input of either teachers or parents on this. There hasn't been any discussion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I guess I had thought they were later. I thought that mostly
Maybe,
we were
yeah, again, I
8:30, but
apologize.
honestly,
To check. In
I
fact,
don't know either.
I went in
Maybe it differs
to,
by school or by.
well, it's not by school, it's by level. And I've
Hmm,
seen these schedules but I haven't seen them lately. And I went in and I must have gotten distracted. So again, I apologize for not being prepared for that.
okay. Um, can you talk about safety in terms of syncing school travel times with dawn and sunset in Michigan winters and environmental concerns related to building heating and school start times? Have you thought much about those
I
issues?
haven't worked that through. So I'm not going to give you an intelligent answer. I will tell you that because of our schools of choice and industry policy, we're having more and more and more parents driving their students to school, and it is coming at those times. I remember parents complaining because the sun was directly in their eyes as they were exiting the driveway at Clegg School where I taught, and they wanted us to do something about that. So
Mhm.
I suppose if they were saying, move school later, that would be reasonable, but I don't think that was the issue there. He was just inconvenienced because there were all these other parents driving to school. So that's off the topic, and I apologize for that. Yeah, I mean, obviously, um, it's colder in the winter earlier. I haven't done the research or the science about sunrise times. You probably have, so you tell me.
Well, I mean, the sunrise times, I don't know if I should answer any questions.
Yeah, no, that's okay.
The
That's okay.
sunrise
I'll give
times,
that question caught me off guard. That's good for you. I could fake it. I could guess what you want, but I won't do that.
well, then maybe it's something you can look at before.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
elect what
obviously
our sunrise and sunset times are in
it
Michigan.
changes between the equinoxes so much that at some point it's gonna hit. But I don't have that data in front of me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then the last question is, do you feel that changing high school start times would have any influence in Ann Arbor's leadership role in Michigan public education?
That's a good question, because the district has referred to it, like in the gun safety case. They speak to our leadership there. On the other hand, they avoid taking innovative, courageous stands in other situations. Ann Arbor is a strong district. It's the fourth largest district in the state. It might have some effect if we use that position positively. There's a lot of real factors as to how the schedule gets set. This, and it's been referred to. Bus schedules is a real impediment. There's the converse question of, it used to be, do students need to get out early to get to their jobs? Now it's, do they need to get out early to get to sports practices, which is clearly a big thing, because that takes priority over other things, even when we decide what's allowed for safety reasons. I was going to refer to, the district surveys parents on issues, and they did so on student start times. And Dr. Swift defended staying where we were, although we did move it up a few minutes. We did make some changes, by saying the survey showed 50% of the parents wanted to move it up and 50% wanted to keep it the same, or roughly close to half, she said. But there's a flaw in that reasoning. People have already accommodated to the present time. For those who want to change, that's going to take, ordinarily that wouldn't be as prevalent. That it must be a real big issue. So that choice, keep things the same or make things different, can't be weighted the same amount. And I think it was somewhat disingenuous of her to use that argument to keep things where they were.
Okay. Well, thanks. As you know, we can't endorse any candidates.
Right.
So these are just informational interviews.
Oh, that's great.
So thanks.
Yeah, good. Let us know when these get published and I'll put the word up.
Okay, great.
Okay, thanks, Suzanne.
All right. Good to talk to you.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.